Less than 600 kilometers from the Strait of Hormuz sits a town many people couldn't find on a map. This small coastal dot in southwestern Pakistan, called Gwadar, is far from any major industrial city. Yet, if the most ambitious infrastructure plan on Earth succeeds, this unassuming location might become one of the most important ports in the world. To grasp the scale of the ambition here, consider the geography. 1/3 of the world's seaborne oil and gas passes right near this coastline. Gwadar sits at the nexus of the global energy supply. For decades, it was a sleepy fishing town, but today it is the centerpiece of a multi-billion-dollar economic corridor. The engineering challenge is immense, but the economic prize is transformative. The question is simple, but the answer is complex. Can Gwadar really become Pakistan's Dubai, or is it destined to remain a ghost port? Please take a moment to subscribe and like the video. It really helps the channel. The reason Gwadar is so vital lies in its geography. It occupies a natural deepwater harbor, a geological feature that allows it to handle the massive cargo vessels that Pakistan's other ports struggle with. It is perfectly positioned for shipping. But for centuries, this strategic advantage was ignored. Gwadar was ruled by the Sultanate of Oman until 1958, when Pakistan bought the territory for roughly $3 million. For the next 4 decades, it remained what it always was, a town entirely reliant on fishing, with no modern infrastructure, no connection to the federal government's economic priorities, and certainly no port. The first stirrings of change came in the early 2000s. Spearheaded by Chinese investment. Phase 1 of the Gwadar Port project was completed in 2007, giving Pakistan a new deep draft port on the Arabian Sea. On paper, the potential was clear. A modern facility with immediate access to international shipping lanes. But reality quickly set in. The new port sat in isolation. There were no integrated roads, no rail connections, no industrial base, and no functioning city infrastructure to support it. The port was impressive, but ships couldn't efficiently get their cargo to the commercial centers of Pakistan. It quickly earned the nickname the Ghost Port, an engineering marvel waiting for an economy to connect to. It was a failure of logistics, proving that building a magnificent port terminal is useless if you can't build the roads, rail, and power to feed it. That missing economic link arrived in 2015 with the launch of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC. Initially announced with a valuation of $46 billion, CPEC has swelled to an investment commitment exceeding $60 billion, making it the flagship project of China's Belt and Road Initiative. Gwadar was placed squarely at the heart of this massive infrastructure spending. China's motivations are clear and deeply strategic. CPEC provides direct access to the Arabian Sea for its western Xinjiang province, drastically shortening trade routes. It provides a secure land corridor for energy imports, allowing China to bypass the contested waters and narrow choke point of the Strait of Malacca, what Chinese strategists refer to as the Malacca Dilemma. Gwadar is not just a commercial outlet. It is a critical piece of China's global connectivity network, strengthening its regional influence and creating a new economic highway. The vision put forward by Pakistan is often ambitious, creating the next Dubai. But what does that really entail? Dubai's economy, driven by the colossal Jebel Ali port, generates over 80% of its GDP from trade, logistics, tourism, and finance, processing over 13 million containers annually. Its success is built on special economic zones that offer full foreign ownership and tax exemptions, attracting global business. Gwadar's plan mirrors this template. The goal is a deep water capability to handle vessels of up to 70,000 deadweight tonnage in its current phase, far larger than what Pakistan's other primary ports can accommodate. The core of the economic plan is the Gwadar Free Zone. This sprawling area offers 23-year tax breaks and customs duty exemptions, aiming to attract manufacturers and logistics hubs. Planners project that this development will push Gwadar's urban population from its current status of under 150,000 residents to over 500,000 within the coming decade. Since the CPEC injection, tangible progress has accelerated dramatically. The isolated ghost port is slowly being integrated. The most critical link, the East Bay Expressway, is complete, connecting the port directly to the national highway system. The massive Gwadar International Airport, built with a $240 million Chinese grant, has completed its main infrastructure. New power plants have been established, and a recently operational seawater desalination plant, with a capacity of over 2,000 tons per day, is finally alleviating chronic local water shortages. On the trade front, the port is actively operational, handling various cargo. Recent milestones include increased shipments of liquid petroleum gas from the Gulf and crucial transit trade for landlocked Afghanistan. Early data suggests Pakistan's exports to Afghanistan are increasing, showing that the corridor is starting to perform its function as a regional gateway. Despite the billions spent on macro infrastructure, life on the ground still faces major hurdles. The free zone remains drastically underdeveloped, and the port is nowhere near the full operational capacity needed to justify the investment. The local community often sees intermittent electricity and struggles with unpaved roads and inadequate municipal sewerage. For the local economy, which historically relied heavily on fisheries, the port's rapid development has caused disruption. Port restrictions and reduced coastal access have strained the livelihoods of fishermen, who represent about 70% of the old economy. The promise of new jobs has been met with local frustration over perceived exclusion. The challenge is not just the physical infrastructure that is lacking, but the social contract. This project is far more than an economic endeavor. It's a piece of a global competition. Gwadar is one of several ports across the Indian Ocean, part of what is frequently called China's string of pearls strategy, fueling concerns about its potential dual use as a naval base. Unsurprisingly, this has triggered a direct response from its regional rival, India. Approximately 170 kilometers to the west, across the Gulf of Oman in Iran, sits the Chabahar port. Developed by India, Chabahar serves as a countermeasure, specifically designed to provide India and Afghanistan with a direct trade route that bypasses Pakistan entirely. The race between Gwadar and Chabahar is a microcosm of the intense regional battle for influence, trade routes, and control over global supply chains. Gwadar's future has two distinct paths. The best case sees stable security and steady CPEC development, allowing the port to finally become the major outlet for Central Asia and Western China, potentially adding billions to Pakistan's GDP through logistics, light manufacturing, and services. The worst case sees the current political and local distrust intensify. Development stalls, the immense debt burden worsens, and the port continues to underperform, becoming a high-profile symbol of a failed Belt and Road initiative. The real measure of success, however, won't be defined by the size of the container ships or the height of the new hotels. It will be whether the longtime residents of Gwadar receive the benefits of this mega project. Does the investment truly translate into reliable jobs, clean water, consistent power, and improved healthcare? Gwadar could truly reshape regional trade and alter the economic balance of power. Or it could remain a symbol of promises that never materialized. The engineering is impressive, the money is staggering, but the ultimate outcome depends on whether this megaport can finally anchor itself into the ground and the lives of the people it was built to serve.